Today I am going to be going through all the new 15th anniversary gifts that you get on a brand new account in the Lord of the Rings Online. As you watch me go through the intro on my first character on this new account, I will go over some of the technical details with the 15th anniversary. So while there are a lot of general monetization changes that will be permanent that came with update 33 and Lotro, there are also a lot of things that are just one-time gifts with the anniversary. So to claim these gifts, you'll have to log in anytime from now. It actually started April 20th, 10 a.m. Eastern. You will have until May 11th on 3 a.m. Eastern time to claim these gifts, and you'll have to log into a character that is at least level 2. That's why I recommend just going ahead, going through the intro and getting out into the real game world to start before you really worry about all the free gifts that you get, as I am doing in the background here. So when you get out of the intro and get all these gifts, what you get is you'll get the collector's edition for 3 recent expansions with Lotro. First, Mordor expansion, Minas Morgul expansion, War of Three Peaks. And these collector's editions are kind of crazy because they come with things like level boost, a whole bunch of like just randomly useful supplies, and they come with a lot of cosmetics. And of course, they come with the content with those expansions. Also, as a free-to-play account, as I have here, it's a brand new free-to-play account, not VIP, you will get a once per account 15-year celebration login gifts. And I should point out, all these one-time gifts, like the once per account gifts, they will go on the very first eligible character that can receive them. So as a brand new free-to-play account, I have to get this character, level him to at least level 2, then re-log into him and get him out of the intro for some of the other stuff like certain valors. But anyway, included in the once per account 15-year celebration gifts, we'll get into that as well. Okay, so now that we got out of the intro and logged out of the character, I can go ahead and log back into him. So we'll enter Middle Earth and see all that we got. Of important note, I think there are some things you have to be minimum level 5 to open, so it is good that we got him to level 5 with the intro. Just as a very quick note, you might see that I'm playing on lower resolution than I usually am. I'm currently playing on 1080p, and the reason is because the UI doesn't scale well past 1080p. So just to have the icons a little bit bigger, especially for the inventory, I went ahead and lowered the resolution so I can see that better. But the very first thing I recommend doing when you get out of the intro, and once you have your UI set up, you can do Control / to get some of that stuff set up. Once you have that stuff kind of where you want it, I recommend going through your inventory, because that's where all the stuff is. That's where all our items came from or go to. They all go into the inventory. So that is where we need to start. Also, I actually recommend turning in the intro quest. I have not even done that, so we'll finish the intro quest, just got out of the instance, and we'll finally be a novice and all that. And it's actually important to become a novice because you have to be a novice to get the valors, I believe, in some of the expedition supplies. So let's relog again. And you will actually notice I exited the game instead of just logging out the character. You might notice that I went ahead and got 2 of my character slots. So becoming a novice and relogging once again made some more things go into effect. If I remember correctly, the character slots might be from the collector's editions, but I'm not sure. The point is, you get 2 free character slots when you log in during this event, which is also pretty nice. As we finish loading, just as a quick recap, all that we did was went through the intro, we exited the game, and then we came back into the game and relogged the character, and now we actually have everything. So again, with the inventory, I'll be going through this stuff just as a heads up from a pretty basic level to hopefully help especially beginners that don't really know much with the items in the game and just managing the game in general. So in the top left of your bag 1 here, I'd open inventory if you don't know that, but edit mode over here will let you drag different slots from different bags into whichever bag you want. So I'm going to put everything into bag 1 for one big bag, because just for me personally, I think that will be easier to manage, but you can of course do it however you want. You can also move the bag around wherever you want as well. So we'll go out of edit mode there. Also, one thing I'm going to do is move my examination tooltip position. You all can't even see it because it's behind the face cam, but I'm just going to move that up here and get it out of the way and where we can see the items I'm hovering over a little bit better. Another thing I'm going to do is go ahead and move my alerts over here because we'll go through those. Also, you might see I have a quest available at the top right. That is going to be something you can just go ahead and get. That is going to be an anniversary celebration quest. If you accept it, you'll get an anniversary token, anniversary gift box, which just contains fireworks, and you'll get a map to bring you to do anniversary if you just want to jump straight into the festival. But we'll go ahead and accept that and finish now because you will likely have done that, and that'll also be stuff that crowds your inventory. Okay, so moving on, we want to check our notifications. We will see that we have confirmation that we had Mordor account items claimed, so that's good. We will also see that we have mail. I am used to playing a VIP account where you have a mobile mailbox and you can basically do email, but as a non-VIP account, we'll have to go to a actual physical mailbox. Also, something to point out at this point is that I am playing a race of man. I am playing a human character. Depending on your race, you might start, well, you would start in a different area. As a hobbit, you would start in the Shire. As a elf, you would start in Killendem. And as a dwarf, you would start in Thorin's Hall, Thorin's Gate area. So that would be the difference for the different races. And yeah, mailbox just might be in a different area, but this is what it looks like. Also on the mini map, it looks like a little envelope up there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get our mail, and there are not too many important things here. This is just an anniversary thing, Waldo Brumble, so this isn't too much to worry about. Again, it's for the anniversary festival. You'll get a map to the party tree though, so if you want to go there and party, you can. Another thing you'll get, this is unrelated to the anniversary, but if you are playing the game, you'll probably have seen these. It's a gift pack that you just open these as you level up. When you open the gift box, you'll get new gift boxes that require higher level, and it's just some things that you get as you level up essentially. So we'll also be going through that because it's another one of those things you have to manage. Now the more trait slots here, don't really want to worry about that. That's just buying, I believe, some trait slots. I'm actually not even high enough level to do a specialization, but if you press J, that'll open the trait panel, and that is what it's dealing with, I believe. We have Deed Bestowed, and this is what I really wanted to highlight with the alerts here. So you will see with the deeds, also with Deed Completed there, and Title Awarded just shows that I got a title, reach level 5 without dying. But we have Happy 15th Anniversary, and that confirms essentially that I played to level 2 during the 15th anniversary, so I got Mordor Collectors, Minas Morgul Collectors, and War of Three Peaks Collectors editions. So that's just a confirmation if you want to check that. Also with Shift L, you can go to the deed log and you would want to navigate class/race/epic, then the second tab, and make sure you have check completed to just really confirm that you have that, but you should have that, and you'll see also with all the items. Speaking of items, it's time to manage the inventory, so I'm just going to go ahead and sort all of my items with that little down arrow. It's not really, there's nothing bad that can happen by sorting, it just changes where they are. And what I recommend next is finding a vendor. If you don't know what a vendor looks like in Lotro, they have this green icon above their head. You can also see the green little bar on the minimap up there in the top right. So we will talk to just the nearest vendor, this guy, and we can sell our stuff to him. Now there is a very convenient sell all button, but you will want to lock the stuff that you don't want sold. So we can see we have show locked here. So if I lock that item, it shows it's locked, but we can also uncheck show locked, and any locked items won't show up here, and we know that they won't be sold. So I just locked a couple potions there. The green potion restores morale, also known as health, so that'll restore the green bar up there, and the blue potion will restore power. So that is why I locked those. I think those would be useful to keep. Dyes to change the color of your armor or cosmetics, go ahead and lock those. We have map to the party tree, I'll go ahead and lock that. We also got Tome of the Chestnut Corgi, that will be a consumable, but I'll go ahead and lock it because I don't want to sell it. And then something we will have to do is go through armor. If you have not equipped all your new armor that you've gotten while questing, which I don't think I've done with this character, we'll just go through that, equip anything that's an upgrade. We can see the one on the left has more armor, so I'll go ahead and equip that. Once again, gloves, I didn't even have anything to compare it to. Same with helmet. We'll equip those. We see I have the mount right here. We'll get to that in a moment. For my weapons, it looks like they're both higher DPS, so I'll keep the ones I have equipped. And then we got some boots there, and it looks like, yeah, the other sword is lower DPS. So otherwise, everything else I feel fine selling, so I don't want to lock any of this stuff. Oh, actually, I do want to equip the cloak that is yellow, so it's in a different part there. We'll sort once again. Now, something you might run into are task items. They look a lot like these trophy items. They are basically the same, except they'll say that they are a task item where you can turn them in. In general, they're junk type items. You can sell them to a vendor, but you can also turn them in for task, which would give you a little bit of reputation mainly, but also a tiny bit of XP. So just be on the lookout for those. They look very similar to these trophy items, and they aren't the most important, but it's just something to keep in mind. I don't happen to have any task items, and I think they come into play at a bit higher level. Okay, so now that everything important is locked, we'll go ahead and sell all, and that will clear out quite a bit of the inventory. Now, we have a whole lot of things to get through, and there are some things you just get probably from the collector's edition of expansions, but it doesn't really matter the exact source, it just matters that you get it. But if we look at the inventory, the order things are, we have the 15-year celebration gift, so that is just for logging in, and that will have a lot of our things to go through. We have improved expedition supplies. This is going to be from the Minas Morgul expansion. Then we have the War of Three Peaks collector supplies. This is more just general supplies from the War of Three Peaks collector's edition. Small crafting carryall. That's just going to be something we got. I'm going to try to organize these items. And if you're curious how I'm anchoring these items, these tooltips on the screen, when you're hovering over something that has a tooltip, just press the H key. Oh, you actually saw me type the H key there since I clicked the search box on accident, but that will do that. This anniversary gift box was from that auto pop-up quest. I actually forgot where we were. Oh yeah, so Raya of the Valor, or Valor level boost for 120. That came with the Minas Morgul expansion. Then we have a Raya of the Valor, that's a level 105 one. That's going to be with the Mordor, but we don't have anything Mordor up here yet. Here's Minas Morgul Collector's Edition bonus item. So that is, yes, Minas Morgul is right here. We have Mordor Collector's bonus item. So Mordor, there we go. We'll just put that there, I suppose. Keep it organized. Hopefully y'all can hear me with the cat. Moving on, the last one here is going to be the War of Three Peaks Collector's Edition bonus items. Now, if you are curious what the one-time rewards are, gifts are that you get with all this stuff, the small crafting carryall, that's going to be one time. The 15-year celebration logging gifts, that is going to be one time. And by one time, this is going to be going to the first eligible character that you have that you log into during the anniversary. And that also includes the collector supplies for Three Peaks and for the Minas Morgul expansion, as well as the Valor packages. So all this stuff, these bottom 4 items here are going to be once per account, as well as these 2 things. And the, forgot the mount, and the, there it is, Corgi. These are going to be account wide, so any character that you log into from now until whenever will get these items. Alright, so those are all of the anniversary free gifts that we got, all the items involved in that. So I will go ahead and right click the Tome of the Chestnut Corgi to go ahead and consume that. We'll close that one. I'll actually go ahead and probably close everything, but there's our new Corgi skill, and if we close everything, it might be easier to look at this. So that just goes to your next available spot on the skill bar. Personally, I would store my pet away from my abilities, and same with the milestone return home skill. So I'll set that on one of these spots on the right there, usually like it on the far bottom right one, and we can summon our new Corgi right there. Good boy. Okay, next up for the items, I mentioned that we have the crafting carryall. That's one that just went straight to our inventory. So any crafting item, I don't have any crafting item, but you could press gather and any crafting items that you have in your inventory would go there. And if you set it to auto, check that box, any crafting items that you will loot will automatically go there. There are 10 slots, I believe, on a small crafting carryall or small carryall of any type. There are 10 slots, so you can store 10 crafting items in that, and if you check auto, they will automatically go there. And that essentially gives you, like, it'd be 9 more inventory slots since the carryall itself takes up an inventory slot. But yeah, it gives you more inventory space, which is really nice, especially in Lotro. Like, item management is going to be it's going to be a concern here, essentially. Okay, so as far as the next items go, we got through the small crafting carryall. I think next we can go ahead and go through the 15-year celebration logging gift. So this is probably going to contain a lot of stuff. I'll just put this up here as reference that that is the first one that I am opening. And if you're curious about the mount, I feel like I glossed over this. We need the riding skill. So in Lotro, you have actual mounts, and then you have a trait. It's just the riding trait that is required to actually use a mount. So we will get the riding trait, I believe, from the 15-year celebration logging gifts as a heads up. So let's go ahead and open that. Okay, so from opening that, we got 10 Mithril coins. If I press B, that will open the wallet. Got 10 Mithril coins there. We also got an anniversary small carryall selection box. So that small carryall selection box will let you select one of these carryalls. We already have a small crafting carryall. You have a task carryall, essence and tracery. Would not recommend that one. Small instrument carryall, if you like playing with a lot of instruments in Lotro or play in a band, like an in-game band, then that could be a consideration for you. But for general purposes, I probably wouldn't recommend it. If you really like housing, get tons of housing items, then you could get that small carryall. But again, for general purposes, wouldn't recommend it. And similar with dye carryalls, if you make a lot of dyes, do a lot of cosmetic stuff and different dyes with that, that would be a consideration for that. And then for the essence and tracery carryall, that can be nice for higher level characters a little bit. I find it to be like a medium useful carryall. It's something I definitely wouldn't recommend for a new player or a low level character. I think the crafting carryalls and task item carryalls are two of the most value. So as a brand new player, or just like a brand new account perspective, because I am not a brand new player, but from the brand new account perspective, I probably would go ahead and get the task item carryall, because again, you can turn those in to task boards and get reputation and a little bit of XP. And the reputation's nice because one, you can barter for stuff from a lot of reputation factions, and you can also get Lotro points from getting different reputation tiers from the deed completion, which is nice. So storing those task items, of which you will get a lot from just killing enemies, can be convenient. And since we already have a crafting carryall, that's why I would consider getting the second one as a task item carryall. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for this character. Next up, we have the 15-year celebration gift box, and we have the Gift of the Valor package. Just like with the other Valors, I will save this one for later. We'll probably do the Valors last because they are the level boost and there's a ton involved with them. And I'll just give a very brief overview with them because I hope to have future videos focusing on each specific Valor. So next up, we will have the 15-year celebration gift box. So let's go ahead and close that one. And next one we are opening is that purple one. This is the one that you get as a free-to-play player. You would get this and another one as a VIP account if you're curious, if you do go VIP. So I'll right-click that to open it. I'm going to actually go ahead and move the two items that I got over here. And one of the things you might have noticed is when I right-click that, the mount no longer had a red border. That's because we acquired the writing trait. It automatically applied to our character. So that is where that item went. It was automatically applied, and now the mount, we can right click it and it says you want to add that to your skills panel or remove it from your inventory. We'll do that, yes. Oh, well, the mount's not on our skill bar. You have to press K to bring up your skills. You can also see the cosmetic pet there. And if you're curious about cosmetic pets and mounts, we'll go ahead and go through K. So skills, we have active, then passive, fellowship, mounts, and here is our mount. We can drag that to our skill bar. But one thing I did want to point out with the passive is if you search up here, we can see we have the riding trait just as a confirmation there. But for mounts and cosmetic pets, if you have a ton of those, it might be hard to find them. You can actually just go to the collections panel and you can see what pets you have, what mounts you have. Check the have box there. You can also see which ones you need, which this character obviously needs a ton of those, and same with the pets. But yeah, the collections panel, Shift C by default to open that, is very nice. You can also preview what they look like. So if we look for the chestnut corgi that we got, we can preview it there and it shows that we have it, and we could drag it to our skill bar from there. So I do find the collections panel to personally be a little bit better for management with that. And also, just as a tip, your emotes are here. You can preview what the emotes look like, and you have the stable masters map, just an alternative map for the game. And you can travel with mythical coins to different places, even ones you don't have discovered. I would not recommend that, especially at the beginning. There's absolutely no point for this character to go to the last homely house, but it is an option. Same with all these other ones. And they cost 5 mythical coins for ones you haven't discovered, but that's not the point of this video, so we'll move on. So going back to stuff that we got from the 15-year celebration gift box, and the next one is going to be a Virtue XP acceleration tome. Now this character is not high enough level to even open the panel for Virtue, so I will level this character up in a moment and cover that. I believe you have to be level 6. Alright, so at this point I just grinded a few mobs to quickly get level 6 so we can open the panel. You might notice I still can't use the Virtue XP accelerator, but that's okay. Don't need to use it to describe it. And you also might see that I got some new items, and perfectly I got a task item. So just to quickly highlight task items, it says you can turn it in the Shire and Ear of the Wind. And that should go to our task carryall. I did not set it to auto gather, but if I just hit gather there, it will put that in there. And now I'll go ahead and check auto because I would want all those to gather there. And now I have that task item stored there. Also, quickly, while I'm thinking about it with the carryalls, I forgot to mention this earlier, but a way to manage those is perhaps move them to your skill bar. So we have the task one there and we have the crafting one there if you really want to get in those. That can be an easier way than trying to find them in your inventory. But as I had up there and just closed out because I hit the escape button, we were working on one of the gift boxes. It was the purple gift box for the anniversary just special once per account login gifts. We got Mythril coins as we saw earlier, and yeah, the Virtue XP Accelerator. Okay, so what that is, if you press the J key, that will open up the trait tree panel. You'll have your class traits here in the first tab on the left. You'll have racial traits on the second, and then virtue traits on the third. Virtue traits boost stats. Now, virtue traits are quite complex, and there's a lot going on there. I recommend you check out my virtue guide because that will cover basically all the information you need on those, especially from a leveling perspective. Now, the highest value virtue in the game tends to be loyalty, so I'll go ahead and just click that as earning and we'll have that set. But what the Virtue XP Acceleration Tome does is it essentially gives you 2,000 Virtue XP. It says 2,000 bonus Virtue XP, but whenever you get Virtue XP, it will just double it up to 2,000. So once you get 2,000 Virtue XP, you'll get 2,000 more Virtue XP. That's why it's a sort of delayed just giving you 2,000 Virtue XP. So that will help you level up your virtues quicker. And you can use that starting at level 7, but I might not recommend using it right away, but that's a little bit complicated. The only reason is because that can actually make you level your virtues perhaps a little bit too fast when you'd like to save the boost for a higher level when you're not getting as much Virtue XP overall. But again, that's a little bit complicated, and I will defer you to my virtue guide for more information regarding that. But if you just want to simply get a boost out of it, you can just go ahead and click it to get it out of the way. Similarly with the Reputation Acceleration Tome, it is most efficient to save this for when you want to boost that tough to get up reputation. But just like with the Virtue XP Accelerator, if you just want it out of the way, you could go ahead and use it, and it's not like a time-based thing. Similar to the Virtue XP, it'll give you 5,000 extra reputation, and again, it will match and give you a bonus, and that will eventually just give you 5,000 extra reputation for a faction. If you're curious about getting to the reputation, if you press the C key, then go to the reputation here, that is how you will get to that. And you see, default, I have Matham Society, that's going to be Shire, Elves of Rivendell, that is Elves, Thorin's Hall, and then Men of Bree. So yeah, that will give you 5,000 extra reputation. Could go ahead and click it if you want it out of the way, but you can also more efficiently save it for perhaps tougher to get reputation factions, such as some higher level ones. Next up, we have the Slayer and Skill Deed boost, and this one's a little bit of a complicated item, and it is going to be time limited. So when you use this, you want to get the most out of it, and it will boost both Slayer Deeds and Class Skill Deeds. So what are Class Skill Deeds? If you press Shift L and then go to the Class tab, you might see that you have some Class Deeds here. And the benefit of these is they will eventually give you Class Trait Points. I'll defer you to my Class Trait Point video for more information on that. And they also give you Load Trail points, and just, I think, can be generally fun achievements to work towards for some classes at least. So we have one on the Champion class. It will of course depend on your class, but on the Champion class we have one for Blade Wall. Use it 750 times, Savage Strikes is 500 times, and Swift to Anger, that one's going to be Swift Strike or Swift Blade 1,000 times. And what this will do is anytime you use one of those abilities, it will give you 2 points of progression in that, and there's actually a daily cap on how many of these you can use to progress that. Usually it's 10% of the deed, but sometimes it's a little bit different. So something like Savage Strikes, you might only be able to progress that 50 Savage Strikes a day, and it would take 10 days to complete that. Well, you could actually use Savage Strikes in unlimited time for progression on Deadly Strikes here by using that boost for at least an hour and a half. And in addition to doing all that with the Class Skill Deeds, it will also boost Slayer Deeds. So I'm not sure if I actually got any Slayer Deeds from what I have done, but Slayer Deeds are just deeds that are based on zones, so like Breeland, Shire, Ear of the Wind, Lonelands, etc. There are deeds to slay specific mob types or a general type of mob, and yeah, this will just give any kill you get, will give you double the credit on that for an hour and a half. These can be quite convenient for some Slayer deeds, just require a very large amount of kills. So these can be quite convenient for that to speed that up a little bit. And of course, Slayer deeds are going to be useful, especially the advanced versions of them are going to be useful for Virtue XP to boost your virtues here, which is conveniently still up right here. So that would be the use for this. You would really like to get the most out of it, use it at a time when you use a lot of your abilities and get a lot of quick progress on your class deeds and quickly get out some Slayer deeds. So that is when I tend to use those. An example recently is in Trollshaws and Angle of Mythaethel. I use that on my champion. Alright, so exiting out of that stuff, the next one we have is Tracery Reclamation Scroll, and that does not come into play until you get your legendary items. The legendary items are a part of the intro to Moria, Walls of Moria, and that will be, it's level 50 content. Technically you can start out as early as 45 though, so that is when the legendary items will come up, and this will basically unslot all the traceries, which are items you slot into the legendary items. It will unslot all of those for you. So with the Tracery Reclamation Scroll, I'd really just recommend saving that. There's of course nothing you can do with it now, but it might come in handy later. We'll go to storage later. We'll go to what is the vault in Lotro. It's basically the bank in other games where you can store your items. So we'll go there and put stuff we don't want. We'll do that later. Similarly though, with the Tracery Token Incomparable, I mentioned this unslots all your traceries. Well, yes, there are traceries. So this will give you a Tracery Token that you can exchange for traceries. It's a little bit confusing, but I keep shouting out my own content, but I have a legendary item guide that might help you with that when you get to your legendary items, but that'd be another example of something to store. And hey, very similarly, just this legendary item box that will give you a legendary item. It's not too important, but it is something that you can save for the legendary item system. So there we go. That is after however long this has been. I know I did some leveling and general delays with this recording, but it's been over half an hour recording so far, and we got through one of the items. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to clear out my inventory again and sell, and then we will start going through the next items and try to get through this. I will lock the Tracery Reclamation Scroll because I don't want to sell that on accident. And I'll go ahead and sort my items again. And I think next up we can start getting through the expansion stuff. We'll save the Valors again for the end, just cover a general overview of them. And the expansion stuff, first we'll have improved expedition supplies and the Three Peaks Collector's supplies. So I'll go ahead and go with just the Mordor. Excuse me, this is actually Minas Morgul Collector's Edition supplies. So I'll open that. And what we got were 2 Shattered Morgul Traceries. These are going to be like the previous item we looked at with the Tracery Token Incomparable. These are the tokens that you actually get. These are the barter Tracery tokens, and these can get you level 121 Incomparable Tracery, so won't need those for a long while. The reason they're level 121 is this is Minas Morgul, and this would like help get you started on Minas Morgul content with 2 nice teal traceries. You also got 5 100% XP boosts. These give you extra character XP as well as item XP, which is legendary item XP for the reward track. And yeah, it will give you also double mounted XP. So you have 5 of those and they last an hour. If you're looking to just quickly boost your levels, get past a point in the game you're maybe not liking too much or super excited to get to a zone that's just a few levels away, these are great items for that, and you can use them quite efficiently if you like round up a whole bunch of quests to use them, pop like the XP boost and turn in a whole bunch of quests, or run things like missions, some instances maybe, or even skirmishes, or some efficient ways to do that and avoid like using them during questing. So that is what we got there. We also got 5 more of the Reputation Acceleration Tomes. So that is what we got from the improved expedition supplies, it looks like. And the next thing we have to go open is, we'll sort, but next thing is going to be the War of Three Peaks Collector's supplies. So right click it, opened it, and all we got was the Three Peaks large carry-all selection box. Now this one is very nice because large carry-alls store a whole lot more items than these small carry-alls. So we got the small crafting carry-all just base, didn't even select that. We selected the task item carry-all because that was the what I consider the most useful one outside of crafting. And we already had a crafting carry-all, but with a large one, this one's it's going to honestly be probably a bit of a tougher choice. But if you have any interest in crafting or just want to store crafting items, I would recommend getting the crafting carry-all. I do think it's more useful than the task carry-all, so I'll go ahead and get that for my character. And now I have the large one, which can hold 50 stacks of crafting items. Go ahead and put it on auto and click gather just in case. And there we go. I'll also slot that one down here. The large carry-all will be the one on the right there. Last thing to point out with the carry-all is, again, pick the one that you think you would get most use out of. For me personally, it would be crafting. I think for a lot of general purposes for players, it would be the crafting carry-all. And also the carry-alls, just as a note, are bound to account, so you can always send one to an alt. If you have like a large crafting carry-all for your main character, maybe you're an explorer, which is something I probably would tend to recommend. Explorer is a great crafting profession for your like main character that you go through the world with. A large crafting carry-all could be good for them, but maybe if you craft on an alt, you might want to send the small crafting carry-all to that crafting alt, just as an example of some alternative uses for the carry-alls. But moving on, all we have left at this point are random items that we got outside of the gifts, and we actually have the cosmetic stuff. So this is special items. We'll probably go in chronological order. So here's Mordor Collector's Edition bonus items, and this is again mostly cosmetics. We're going to get Hopeful Swan Kite, so if we right click that, that's another pet. We got that, and we can use that instead of our corgi. If you like kites, somebody else is flying their kite right now. And you will also see in the chat log over here, I'm going to press Control / to move. We'll move, yes, the alerts, and just move them out of the way of the chat so we can blow that up a little bit. And with the chat, you will see that I got the Warsteed appearance for a cosmetic set. If you're wondering what that cosmetic set might look like, we can actually go to the regular mounts. This is not probably available for all Warsteeds, but we can go to the mounts and we see it's Alliance of the Third Age. So Alliance of the Third Age, we actually got that mount as well. It'd be also on our skill panel in the mounts tab, but we can drag it here. That is the new mount. But that is what it looks like. And there's the Warsteed version of that. For people that don't know, Warsteeds are the mounted combat steeds, but they're also just used for travel once you get them. They start in Riders of Rohan, which starts at level 75. Again, technically you can get them lower level, but that is about when you would expect to get it when you get to the first Rohan, which is East Rohan. And it starts at level 75. So that is when you could start getting your Warsteed, and you would have the Warsteed version of this. Essentially, you would have the outfit available for that. But it's something to not really worry too much about right now. So we got the mount right here, and we also got a whole bunch of cosmetics to go with it. We have the matching armor. So right click that armor box there with the Alliance of the Third Age, and we'll have to get into cosmetics now. So if you press C, open your character panel, there's another tab here called Cosmetic Outfits. And you'll see a whole bunch of Lotro store icons on outfits 3 through 8. That's because you gotta buy them. But you have outfit 1 and 2 just unlocked. And what you want to do with cosmetic items is you don't really want to equip them because you want to keep your good armor on. You don't want to equip the cosmetic armor because it's quite bad and wouldn't be helpful for you. So we will go to the cosmetic tab here. We have our equipment outfit, can't change that, but for the different outfit slots, we have outfit 1. We can just drag. If I right click, that'll change my armor. We'll have to drag each individual item up. And you will see we actually got 2 cloaks. This is fairly frequent. You'll get a hooded version of the cloak, which is a cloak with the hood, or you'll just get the regular cloak without the hood. And you can wear the helmet if you would like. So we'll go ahead and just slot everything here. It looks like that is all of the items. We slotted them all, and we can even hide stuff we don't want. If we don't want the shoulder pads, we don't want the helmet, and maybe we don't want the gloves, we could do that. And to switch to the outfit, we can just click outfit 1 because that is the one we're wearing. So click that to change the outfits. You can always go back to your equipment if you like as well, and even hide your helmet, shoulders, whatever you want to hide, or keep showing there. Personally, I will go ahead and show the holders and maybe get rid of the cloak. And I'll go with that look for my character for now. And the reason I say for now is because we have even more stuff as far as cosmetics go. So we'll go with the Minas Morgul one next. Go ahead and right click that. That'll give us a bunch more cosmetics. So we'll get the shepherd dog, which is going to be nice. Sorry that the kite will be going away. And personally, I probably like shepherd dogs more than the corgis. Don't tell Standing Stone Games. But yeah, this is probably the pet I would rock on this character. So we got that. I believe we also probably got a new mount. If I had to guess, if we go to the mount tab, we got Steed of the Great Alliance is what the new one will be. I'll go ahead and just put that there. If you're curious about the base steed we got, it is this one. So there's this new mount that we got that was from the Minas Morgul, and we got the matching cosmetic to go with that. So if I go back to the cosmetic tab, I'll go ahead and do outfit slot 2 here. We'll do that as the regular cloak, hooded cloak, and this functions really just like the other ones. We'll go ahead and slot everything. You might notice you can slot helmets and hooded cloaks at the same time, but the hooded cloak will always overwrite the helmet if you are curious on that. So if we hide the cloak, it will show the helmet. But yeah, this is what this would look like. I don't think that's too bad of a look. Now, something that I am just thinking of is, what if you want to dye this armor? I've talked a little bit about dyes. We got dyes from one of the intro quests. You can control right click it and you can actually preview what the dyes would look like. You can also preview any piece of armor in your inventory, just control clicking it to get there if you're curious, and then reset to go back to what I'm wearing. So say I wanted to dye this navy, I was curious what it would look like. So I can go to chest and then I can scroll down and eventually find navy somewhere. I think it's actually towards the top, and navy there. You see it didn't change much because, I mean, navy's not that much different from blue, so hard to pick that out. But we can see how it would dye by maybe picking something with a lot of contrast, and there's red. So if you're curious what that looks like dyed, maybe some dyes you might eventually want to find, you can always check that out with these outfits. Not all cosmetic outfits like this are dyeable, but most new ones are, because Standing Stone Games knows we love different dyes for our armor to customize it a little bit more to our liking. Ooh, inventory is getting a mess. We'll go with emptying your inventory later and where you can store this stuff again. Okay, so moving on, we have the final cosmetic stuff to go through, which is going to be War of Three Peaks over here. We'll go ahead and open that one, right click it. Oh, and I don't have enough room to do that. We'll actually have to do inventory management first. So what I'm going to do is find a vault. Unfortunately, as a Race of Man character, there is no vault in Archit, so we'll have to do a bit of traveling. I'm not too sure with the Shire. There might be a vault in Mickle Delving. I actually forget. I do know for both factions in Era of the Wind, there are vaults somewhat nearby. I think there's one in Thorin's Hall. There is also one in Kellendam. You will want to talk to a vault keeper. They have a little gold icon, and we will go find one. Get on my mount. We'll get on the matching mount. Hey, somebody else is rocking this outfit, but they're using the helmet. I also have a nice mustache. As we are traveling here, something I just realized is we actually got some maps. We got a map to the party tree, which wouldn't be too helpful, but we also got a map to Bree Anniversary. That would actually take you somewhat close to an area with a vault. But as, again, Race of Man, I'm just traveling south and going down to Combe, and there might be a vault keeper here. If not, there definitely are a few actually in Breeland. Okay, so we made it to Bree, and this is the famous Boar Fountain location, just because it's a little bit iconic and conveniently located about some things that are probably not too important to worry about, but all these fancy vendors here, and the subscriber town services lady right there, which if you are a VIP, that is the most OP item in the game that you can get from them. But the easiest vault to access, there's actually a vault keeper at looks like right up there according to the map. I don't actually remember one being there, but Crafting Hall is a good location. This is quite convenient with a few facilities, crafting facilities, and a vault keeper right here. So again, you don't have to go to this exact vault keeper, and it would be in Bree in this area in the Crafting Hall, but we'll go to this one and we will right click him. You can see you can browse the shop. There's a vault, shared storage, and a wardrobe. Starting with the wardrobe, you could actually put cosmetics here, but unfortunately you don't start with any room in that, so you'll have to buy that from the literature store. You'll have to buy space there. Shared storage, pretty similar. Capacity not available because you must buy some space to be able to use that. I forget as a VIP if you get any space for free. Honestly, not when it be free, it would be included in VIP, but I just forget if you do have space in those as a VIP benefit. But the vault, that is one that you will actually have space, and you can expand it both with vulture points and in-game currency, which is going to be silver, gold, well, copper, silver, gold, but in-game gold essentially. This character doesn't have enough right now. He only has 45 silver, but it's something that if you play for a bit, getting gold in game is really no problem, especially if you open your daily Hobbit gifts. Those will sometimes have gold. We'll get to the Hobbit gift, I suppose, later, but that is something, if you like log in and see that up there, you can just collect these gifts. But maybe after we get the cosmetics, I'll go ahead and do that. But yes, with your vault, you start out with 30 spaces, so maybe you want to make a cosmetic one. I'll just do chest 10. I'll rename it cosmetics. You don't have to do this. You can store it however you want, but that is what I'll do. I'll do the bottom one, and I'll just put all my cosmetics here. I can always access them later if I want to put them in one of my slots, or if I want to dye them, then put them in one of my slots. I can always do that. So we'll just put all of these new cosmetics here and let them be. Okay, we'll go ahead and sort. I'll hit escape to get everything out of the way, and we'll move to the War of Three Peaks Collector's Edition bonus items. Go ahead and right click that to open it. Oh, and this one has some more than cosmetics. You will see we did get the Elderslade boar. I would have to go out of here to actually get on the boar, but if we go to mounts, you have a boar. And guess what? We don't even have to go out of here to see exactly what it looks like. We can press Shift C, go to mounts, and we will search boar. Elderslade boar. There you go. You have a fancy boar to ride, which you can use in Moria. You can't use horses, or it would be horses and ponies. You can't use steeds in Moria, but you can use goats and boars. So you can now ride them out in Moria and Gundabad and any other areas that steeds aren't allowed that I might be forgetting. So we got that. We also got the Three Peaks armor set, which is only 3 pieces. It's actually not that many, but we'll go ahead and ruin our outfit one. Not necessarily ruin, maybe improve if you like it better. We'll just hide all the stuff that is not a part of the set. So we have the chest piece, the boots, and the helmet. That is all the new stuff, and this is what it looks like. Got a nice mohawk on the helmet. But this is probably how I would rock it. Okay, so moving on, besides that cosmetic, we got a weapon aura. There's a lot going on with weapon auras, but you slot them next to the weapon and they will glow. But certain weapon auras only glow around certain enemies. So the weapon aura of Orcsbane, this one from War of Three Peaks, will only glow around orcs. So we're not near an orc, so it is not glowing, but that is something you can put there. Now, something you might think of, and I have thought of, is slotting the weapon aura in the cosmetic. Well, this is something that I have honestly never gotten to work, so I feel like this is a little bit of a bad thing as a guide, but I've never gotten those to actually work from the cosmetic slot. And I think that's because you actually have to have a weapon glow. Like, I have a weapon glow equipped on my main slot. You would have to have a separate one equipped for your offhand, because you see, as I have my offhand, it shows that it actually is working. So this essentially lets you use any glow you want, given you have enough weapon glows, weapon auras, to fill the slots. Now, with War of Three Peaks and all this stuff, we only have one weapon aura with all this, at least as a free-to-play account. I think as a VIP you get another one, but that is, yeah, pretty much how those work, and they will make your weapon glow if that was not either stated or obvious. And then you can also slot a normal weapon aura so it has no glow if you wish to do that. Like, you could do that. I guess I can't actually do that. Oh, my level is too low. That's a problem. That requires level 7 for some reason. Honestly, no idea why, but it does. Moving on, what else we got from this is more tracery tokens and comparable, and I already covered those earlier, so I'll refer you to that earlier part where we covered that. That was during the, if you perhaps skipped that part, that was during the anniversary box opening. Alright, so next up, I just want to cover some general things with the character. First, we'll continue with our streak of organization and put the new cosmetics in our cosmetic tab and our vault. And I'm also going to just go ahead and create a legendary items tab. Maybe I'll do legendary items tab per chest 9. I'll call it LIs. And we will put anything that is related to the legendary item system there. We need all these tracery tokens in comparable. We'll use the shattered traceries. We'll also do tracery reclamation scroll. And that is all that. Cosmetics, I realize I still haven't slotted my normal weapon aura, the one that just hides it. I also could put my dyes in there. And there we go. I think that is going to be it as far as that goes. Now, there are some boosts. Maybe I'll put these in my main chest. These are just some general character boosts that we covered earlier. because I don't want to use them right now. I'll just get them out of my inventory, but we see I'm actually running out of space in my vault, so that might be a concern for you. All right, moving on, some other things is we have our Hobbit gifts. I'll go ahead and open the Hobbit gift, and we'll just open the one for free. Don't recommend spending mithril coins on those. And we open that, we got, this is all random. It's basically a sort of a lottery type thing, but we got a Virtue XP item. This will just give you straight up Virtue XP, covered Virtue XP earlier. And we got a Hope Boost. This is going to be a consumable that's helpful. It's actually helpful in combat. So that is one, if you're maybe struggling with something in the game and it's a little bit difficult, then the Hope token can be quite useful there. Unfortunately, my vault can't store this stuff, so I might actually take out maybe the reputation accelerators and XP boost. Maybe I want to use those, and I'll just save my Virtue XP stuff in the Hope token to keep this character just specifically with his vault space. If I had more silver, I'd just buy that. That's pretty cheap, but this character has done basically nothing, so it just doesn't have that much money. And now if we go through our alerts, we got some more titles. That's a lot of the stuff from the, I think from both the Anniversary and Collector's Edition. So we have Walked into Mordor. That sounds like a fun title, so I'll do that one. Deed Completed shows, yeah, Walked into Mordor, Mordor Collectors. Mailbox, again, can't actually access that right now, but we'll look at that. Get more trait slots, don't want to do that. Specialization needed, yes, we can spec in. This is very class dependent. I'll just click red line here. For the champion remote quest, that is going to be our anniversary celebration that we accepted earlier, and we can, yeah, go there, do the anniversary instance if you would like to. Got deed bestowed, these are class deeds, already covered that. And then I will check my mail again, and Bingo Boffin is wanting help. Well, if you want to help him, you can. It tells you like he's in Mickle Delving, and there's this whole storyline surrounding him. He's a hobbit. If you would like to help him, you can, but I'll go ahead and delete his mail, and now I'm aware that he has a quest in Mickle Delving, it sounds like. Some other things to do some general cleanup is we got the anniversary gift box that has fireworks. I'm not sure it's the best idea to launch fireworks, but these are purely cosmetic things, can just launch them for fun. I believe you can also sell them for a little bit of silver if you really want. That might help you get more vault spaces very early on like this character. But otherwise you can just launch them for fun. Nice visual display from them. Not so much indoors. Next up, we'll get to the Valors. I keep saying that, we'll get to them in a moment. Actually, with my vault, I realize I'll take this Virtue XP token. Maybe I can use that when I get level 7, and I will put the legendary item gift box in my LI panel, which I thought I renamed this to LIs. There we go. Gotta name it, label it so we know what it is, and we'll put the legendary item box in there. And then we have the gift pack. This is something I mentioned, that you get these as you level, you'll just keep getting more gift packs, and they'll come with various items. And this is, again, unrelated to 15th anniversary, something every character has always gotten. And you will start with a letter of commendation that's going to start a quest. Depending on your race, it'll have you talk to somebody near where you start. Well, we left there, but we have that quest. It's not important. You'll get some tokens that you can barter for, like potions would be the main thing. I think also a pocket item to increase your run speed. Something like that at least. So that is what that item is. And then we have the next one, we have the level 6 box. You also have a wrapped horse whistle. And this actually, if you logged in during the anniversary, you have basically no reason to use this, because you can just use a regular mount here, and this is a temporary mount. Like if I right click that, that would give you a mount that only lasts 24 hours. Well, we don't need that, so I'll actually destroy it. Now these are going to be premium potions, the green ones and the blue ones. We covered potions a little bit, but these premium ones, they restore morale. They have a different cooldown than the regular potions, and all the premium ones have a shared cooldown. So you have the morale potions and the power potions. Those are a little bit limited, but they're still good to make use of whenever you need a bit of a boost on either of those. We also got a quest that will introduce us to crafting, so we'll go ahead and accept that, and we can talk to whoever that requires to get us started on crafting, especially if you want to start with crafting. That will get you started there. We got 2 more navy dyes, I think, from one of the quests I selected. If we go to the vault, I have my cosmetics somewhere here. Yes, we selected navy dyes, so I'm gonna keep taking these little boosters out, but I'll take that booster out to put my dyes in there. And then we also got the level 6 box, so might as well open this. We'll get a writ of special passage for 1 hour. This one's not too important, but it'll unlock the swift travel free passage. This is something that I think as a free-to-play player, if I'm remembering correctly, is actually restricted. There's a lot of swift travels that you cannot do, and this will unlock any that your character could go through. So that is something, if you're really wanting to do a lot of swift traveling, maybe you can save it for that. As somebody who is usually on a VIP account, I haven't had to deal with that too much, to be honest. And then the next one is a 6-hour run speed boost, so give you a little bit of a run speed if you just want to run a little bit faster for a duration. Does not affect mounted movement speed, as it says, as a note. We also got some regeneration food. These aren't too important. I would recommend just using these. Make sure you use them because they're not the most valuable, but they will help you restore your morale and power, mainly out of combat, but a tiny bit in combat. And finally, we got the level 7 box, which will have pretty similar items. And while I can't go through all the items, of course, with this character, hopefully that's a little bit of introduction of the type of items from those and just some thinking about the items that you actually get out of them when you might want to use them. But for the final part of this video, to briefly cover the Valors, I'm going to hopefully have a more detailed video on each of the Valors, perhaps individually or together. I also recently went through a stream going through all this. That was actually the focus of the stream, was the 3 Valors. We used the 105 Valor, the level 50 Valor, and the level 120 Valor. And yeah, it's pretty crazy all the items you get from those. What I want to do in this video is just give some general recommendations. I actually would not recommend using the Valor on your primary character right away, any of the Valors. If you are interested in level boosting a character, I would first make sure you actually like the class that you level boost. Be aware that you are boosting your level, and while you can technically go back and do all the content in the game at any level, you are going to be over leveled if you want to do that, and that might not be an experience everybody wants, and it can also be overwhelming with how high level you get and all the abilities and all that sort of stuff that your character might get. You're jumping straight into high virtue XP, you'll get legendary items, get straight into that system without any ease, and there's just a lot of stuff with things like that. Again, trait points, you have a whole bunch of those, and spending those, a whole lot of class abilities or skill bars will get absolutely filled up. So be aware that there might be some concern with using your Valors right away, and they don't disappear. You don't lose these Valors after a certain amount of time, so there is not much reason to make sure you use them right away. You can save them for when you think you are finally ready to use them, and I perhaps recommend actually using them on an alt. If you're just going to play through the game, play through the story on one character, your main character, you can do that and then use a Valor on another character. If you're interested in some high-level group content, endgame content, you can use the 120 Valor on that character, especially if you find a class you like that you want to do that. If you want something a little bit lower level, you have the 105 Valor, which will get you ready for Mordor, or you even have the level 50 Valor, which would be a nice transition into sort of mid-level content with Moria and End of Shadows of Ingmar. So those are some general recommendations for the Valor. Again, Araya of the Valor is going to be the level 105. We have Valor level boost package 120 for level 120. And then finally, we have the Gift of the Valor level 50. So that is the final thing I have in this video, and I hope it has been helpful. It's been quite an adventure, and it's been a very long recording, but there are a lot of items, and I just really hope that that was helpful, and all the details and general tips I gave were also helpful. If there's anything else with these items that you would like covered in the future, especially maybe some specific details of the Valors that you would like covered, please let me know, as I am working on those projects. And just for some other general things, I'm working on a leveling guide in the future, so if you're looking for more information on leveling, that will hopefully be a video for you. And again, as far as this video goes, if you all enjoyed it and found it helpful, please consider sharing it to somebody who might also be in need of help, and consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content and the cat that was around here at some point in the video. And thanks for watching, everyone.